Welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. In the last episode, we built that machine over there to make infinite pure Certus quartz crystals, and today we are actually going to do, hopefully, a really big machine. We are going to take Chapter 2 and complete everything here down to the painted quartz mixer, which does not leave us much to complete chapter 2. So we're actually closing in really quickly on completing this. However, one thing we need is something called sky stone, this stuff right here, which you can find in meteors. So we'll need to make a meteor compass. Oh, and check it out. I made an improvement to the iron generator. I just added it so that all three lanes could be washed at the same time. So it's just kind of this V shape, and yeah, this is going a little bit faster. It's emptying stuff out a little bit better. It's still obviously got buildup, just because the washers can only wash so much. Once we get brass funnels, we will kind of be rolling because we'll tell them to be able to output a stack at a time, and that'll really speed this up. But for now, it's a little bit faster, it's a little bit better. And I think over here, I don't think I showed this off in the video, I just turned this into a gear ratio so the pump was moving fast enough that, like, if you're looking at this with goggles on, you'll see that it doesn't ever actually drop below 500 millibuckets of water. Boy, I picked the worst time to, come on, let's do the thing now. There we go. Watch. It hits 500, but it basically gets to run at like full speed. So this is moving as fast as it can. Very nice. And while I go start to make up an andesite machine, which is what you need for a meteor compass, why don't we go into our Q&A of the day, coming from Jack Jaff, asking what I currently do as my job and what my dream job would be. My job right now is very part-time, doing some Amazon stuff, working for PPC, managing a little bit of listings. It's all right, but my dream job is YouTube. That's what I want to do. And you know, every day it becomes closer and closer, so that is extremely exciting, and it's all thanks to people like you. Wasn't that the old is that PBS? It was like PBS is, you know. Anyways, alright. Enough of that. To make a meteor compass, you combine an andesite machine with a charged Certus quartz crystal, which we picked up from the ground. And you can see it's... Oh, it looks really pretty. Ooh. I like that. Okay, well, that is going to point us in the right direction of a meteorite, but I'm going to empty my inventory before we go. Alrighty, it's a fresh morning, and I got some potatoes, so let's go meteor hunting. There's no real way to know how far we are away from it. Hopefully not terribly far, but I think it's in this direction, because it, like, if I turn, it's a little diagonal. The compass is a little diagonal, but it's really cute and pretty, and I'm sure we'll see it on the mini-map before we actually run into it, so that'll be good too. And hey, maybe we'll find some new cool biomes to explore, but for the most part, I am just going to focus on getting to where we're going. Although, are these immediately mushrooms? Because there's a lot of recipes that... Toadstool. I will pick up these toadstools because there's some recipes that could use toadstools that are really cool. Whoa, it's an underwater meteor, which is really cool, but vastly inconvenient, because, you know, we don't have aqua affinity, but I can make some doors. So this is it. This is all the skystone. And really, we only need 4 pieces for this thing to run at absolute maximum speed. But I'm going to grab just a little bit more in case we ever have a desire to make it, like, much faster. And in the late game, potentially we will. What was that sound? Did you hear that sound? I hated that sound. Please don't make that sound ever again. Alright, well, luckily I had the foresight to bring my diamond pickaxe. We'll get this mined up. Really, I don't think I need too much, but, you know. Alrighty, I grabbed 20, and that is more than enough. And I'm going to head back home. So the machine we're going to be building here is pretty complicated. It's got a lot of moving parts. You got to crush the skystone block into skystone dust. You got to mix it with water into sky solution. You got to mix that with a charged Certus crystal to make charged or destabilized redstone, which spits out a non-charged Certus crystal, which you have to recharge and put back in. Then you take the charged or the redstone whatever and mix it with the pure crystals over here. So there's a lot of moving pieces to it, and I wouldn't want to design it in survival And I didn't. I got a little carried away between episodes. So let's hop into Creative World. In a fever of invention, I came up with this last night. It definitely was. It was supposed to be like a testing session where I just kind of like figured out the mechanics and stuff. But then I kept discovering things, and I just kept building, and ended up turning into this. This machine is stupidly compact. Okay, this is stupidly compact for what it does. Every single process I just mentioned is done in this one basin. I love it. It's so compact that the heart of the machine, the actual like core of the machine, the crusher, mixer, all that stuff, there's not a single block of airspace. Every single block in the core of this machine is taken up. That's how compact it is. So I wanted to go over it with you guys because oops, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't, I'm not going to pretend like I just invented this on the fly. First of all, you have your pure Certus Quartz input that's going to slide either under the millstone or it could come in from this way. It doesn't really matter which direction it comes from. But of course, that's important. You have underneath of the mixing basin a water input, since to make the volatile sky solution, you need to mix 4 skystone dust and the water. So you have your water input here, and the only part of it that's not so pretty, there's a lot of little cogs down here, but it's not that big of a deal. This here is kind of one of the big cores of the machine. It is the crushing loop. So inside of the millstone, you can see I put a stack of skystone. The skystone comes out. The skystone dust goes into this filtered drawer, which also acts as a buffer, and it actually puts a space between these two belts so that a gearbox can make sure they're moving in opposite directions since they need to be, which is really clever. We have this weighted ejector, who's just going to throw the skystone block back into the millstone, so there's the crushing loop, it's infinite. Once the skystone dust is crushed, it comes over here, falls into the basin. Once there's 4, it mixes it into the volatile solution. We start off the basin with, you can see there is a charged Certus quartz crystal in there. However, because, and this is really cool, because the destabilized redstone recipe, it produces rather both the destabilized redstone and the Certus quartz crystal. The Certus quartz crystal is treated as an output, so it actually is output onto this belt. It moves into this charger, which you have to power from the bottom, and we actually need to get into this thing, a Stirling dynamo. It's not difficult to create, and all you do is put coal or charcoal or wood or something that burns inside of it, and it produces Fe, because this is the first thing that requires Fe. But it spits out the uncharged Certus crystal, it goes into the charger, charges, falls into this hopper, and then into the weighted ejector, and is thrown back into the basin. The reason we have a hopper here is because I can't put the weighted ejector right up against the funnel. It breaks it. And all of this stuff is powered by these encased chain drives. And then we have the Certus quartz input that mixes with the destabilized redstone and produces the polished rose quartz, which is pulled into this buffer drawer here, because you can kind of filter it through there. So that's the machine. There's a few clever tricks in here. Like, one thing I'm really proud of is these 2 large cogwheels on top of each other gear ratio the millstone and the mechanical mixer, so those can be nice and fast. The machine is once again so perfectly set up that powering any part of the main machine powers the entirety of it, which I'm very proud of. And yeah, it literally does everything from here to here to here to here to here. It's kind of insane. And like, I could build it by hand on our main world, or I could use something called a Schematicanon. So with a schematic and quill in the creative mode server, I could actually select this machine and not copy it, but kind of copy a blueprint for it, bring it into our regular survival world, and have a cannon build it for us. The one thing I will do is I am going to destroy this input line since it's not needed for the core of the machine, and I don't want to put anything unnecessary in it. And we are going to want to knock out the sandstone surrounding this machine because we don't want the schematic to think it needs sandstone. Although I guess I just don't have to give it sandstone. But still, it'll make it easier to see like where the machine is going and stuff if I knock out the sandstone. So I'm going to punch out all the sandstone here, and then I'll show you how we are going to copy. I'm also just not going to copy the water because, I mean, who cares? I know I need the water, so I don't need to copy it. So the way we take a schematic is you need to make sure that you have access to the upper and lower corner, right, of this box that you're going to draw. And you use the schematic paper. You right-click for the first position. It gives you really nice info. You right-click for the second position. And when you're holding it, you can see the selection you've made. I'm going to knock out these here. But this is our schematic. It has just saved everything here. I don't know if it will keep the drawers the same, like if it'll lock them, so we might have to do that. And I don't know if it'll get a little fussy because there's stuff in the basin, but like, you know, it's not gonna break, right? There's no end all be all. Okay, now that we have our schematic saved, we can right click it and name it. This will be the polished quartz factory. Very nice. And we could click save. And there we go. We have saved our schematic. So all we have to go do in the world is make this schematic table as well as a Schematicanon, and it will construct this for us. So to make the Schematicanon is pretty easy. You just need a cauldron, dispenser, some random bits and bobs, and then the schematic table is just as easy. And then we need to craft an empty schematic, which is light blue dye as well as paper. So I'm just going to get all that stuff whipped up, and I'll see when that's done. Alrighty, and with this light blue dye, we have everything that we need to start getting started. Although it is nighttime, so I will be sleeping. So first things first, we can... Oh, look at that. We only have one schematic, so it's already ready. You put it in there, it loads the schematic. There we go. And now we can take out our schematic, and I believe if I hold over it with controls, it will... Oh, yeah, opens interface for entering exact coordinates. Okay. Right-click while sneaking. Whoa. There we go. Okay. So we can... Let's see. There. So we can move it around. Right. I believe... What's the... Yeah. There we go. So while holding left alt, we can change what we want to do to it. And when we select it, we can change how it moves. So we want this actually to go one into the ground here. And we probably want it to be one back. But the big thing, of course, is that we want to rotate it. There we go. We want it to be facing in a direction where the... where the quartz can easily enter into it. And where the rose quartz can easily exit from it. And you know what? I think this might be it. I do want to see that... I do want to see, though... Interesting. So I put it into the ground. It doesn't show off the belts, but I just want to make sure that, like, everything is accounted for. Yeah, everything is accounted for. And it's just an entity right now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but we could visually position it, which is really cool. And it looks very nice. And I just want to make sure that it's lined up. It'd be annoying to not have it lined up. Yeah, I think that works, actually. And then as far as getting the rose quartz on the other side, it's just as easy just moving the drawer. I am pleased with this. I think this works very well. Interestingly enough, it did save the basin and drawer materials as well. But I think this is pretty good. I mean, it's very forward for some of these machines, like it's very like upfront, but I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing. And I believe if I just right click now, let me check. No, I think that's just good, because now what we could do is place down our Schematicanon, feed it the schematic, and yeah, see, the problem is now we don't know what we need, but if we have a book and quill, I believe a book and quill will allow it. Yeah, or just a book. Okay, so just any book. If we put it here, it'll turn it into a very handy item. This is now a material checklist. And if we open this up, it will tell you exactly how much stuff we need. And we need a few things. So... time to get all of this stuff prepared, crafted, and ready to go. And then we just have to feed it some gunpowder to fuel the cannon, and it will build our machine. It is a machine that builds machines. Okay, I've got everything crafted up except for these last two things, the charger and the Sterling Dynamo. And since those are a bunch of new stuff, I don't want to, leave you guys out from that. So to make both of these, we need a Fluix crystal, and to make that, we're going to take a charged Certus quartz, a nether quartz, and a redstone dust, and we're going to just throw them into a puddle. And would you look at that? We have all those resources already, which is super nice, and these 8 Certus quartz crystals going to come in handy, so it's a good thing I picked those up. And I think by puddle, it just means any amount of water, so we'll just toss these in. And supposedly they'll, there we go. Oh, look at that. Cool. Unnatural is the achievement we get. Very fun. To make the charger, that is not what I need. No. To make something. One of these things is an andesite machine and a Fluix crystal. Which one is it? That is the charger. And then to make the Sterling Dynamo. Sterling Dynamo. Ah, that's right. That's the redstone Fluix thing. That's right. That does not use a Fluix crystal. But that... I thought that said catalyst for a second. But that is all right. There's our 2 redstone. I went mining for some gold while I was getting everything set up since you need it for this kind of stuff. And we were out, man. But here we go. Boop, 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 charger. And that is actually everything, except you do need gunpowder to power the cannon, which luckily we have from a few creeper kills. So... most likely I should be able to throw these guys in here, put the book in there, and this should say, yep, everything's checked off, so we have all the resources we need. We will give you some gunpowder, and we can go. And yeah, look at this. It is going to place everything. Everything will be placed. Now, if that's not the fastest that I've ever built a machine, I don't know what is, and we can make sure. Okay, there's a few things whose rotation is a little strange, but that doesn't matter. I'm just going to be checking that all of the funnels and whatnots are in the correct positions, and it looks like they are. That's being powered good. Now, we will have to go down there and add a few things like the water and stuff. We're not exactly done. And of course, whoops, we need to make sure that we have all of our like filters are set up, and yeah, not too bad though, not too bad. Okay, I think everything checks out. We're gonna obviously need to do some of our filtering here and there. Oh, and I do need to grab our little Certus crystal boys, and we're gonna want some charcoal, which here we go. I've already prepared. Now this thing can run off a stack of charcoal for a good long while. And always nighttime when I start to commentate. So check this out. The Sterling Dynamo that we made, you just throw some charcoal into it, starts burning, and produces Fe. It's charging up this guy right here. And this guy, can show you, will be the one to charge up our stuff. And yeah, already tosses it in there. So awesome. I'll just toss these down. I mean, you could have as many in this system as you want. I don't think it causes a problem to have 8. We're going to have 8 because why not, right? This guy, yes, this guy needs to move because the output is going to be on the other side. That takes a long time to break by hand. Okay. And yeah, we're going to have, there we go. That is going to be our polished rose quartz output. Okay. And then we are just going to legitimately, hopefully this doesn't break. And it breaks. Well, that's fine. I could just put another shaft there. We are going to extend this belt line like so, and that will start to pull out the, what are these called? What are these things called? The crystally dews. It'll pull the crystally dews. We're also going to want to crush up a skystone and a skystone dust, just so that we can already filter that. Let me actually grab the keys that we're going to need. And then to filter the polished rose quartz, we're going to lock the empty drawer so nothing gets picked up into it. And then polished rose quartz, once it's produced, should get stuck somewhere in the system. And then it's easy enough to just pick that up and put it in. So the filtering shouldn't be too big of a deal. Just got to wait for this really, there we go. I was going to say, that has taken a long time. There's the skystone dust. Beautiful. Get that flowing perfect. That'll start filling up. And I do not want... Hey, stop that. Ow. Ugh, weighted ejectors. Okay. You go into there and get locked. Beautiful. And then, like I said, we are going to lock this drawer so nothing can get into it, and I'm going to quantify it too, because we're going to be storing stuff in there for now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and I think that's all of the prep work we have to do. All we need now is to power the system. Obviously, we are going to be powering it from this line here. Although, is there any way that I could power it off of this? Alright, just as easy as powering this, then the gearbox goes down. Now everything should be spinning in the right direction, right? Yep. That pulls out. Very good. That pulls in. That pulls out. Okay. The last thing to do is to drop the sky stone into the system. Look at that. It's charging up. That's how you know it's working. The crystals are popping out charged. They're not. Why aren't they popping out charged? Alright, hopefully that is not indicative of how this whole thing's going to go. Everything starts up. Once we throw the sky stone into the mill, it's going to begin grinding. This should be filling with water. Okay. Good. No. Thank you. That should be filling with water. Let's put the goggles on. Perfect. There's water in there. Awesome. That's a grinding. There should now be sky stone dust. Okay, we do have to wait until there's 4. So let's see. All right, here we go. Yep, that's mixing up the volatile. Good. And then the rose. Good. Okay, that comes out. Is it waiting to charge? It looks like it's waiting to charge. Yes. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, there it is. There's our first one. Boom. Filtered. So now... yes! Yes! Yes, it actually worked. Oh my gosh, everything... oh, that was so easy with the cannon. Well, there we go. Guys, is this the most progress we've ever done in a single episode? Boom. We got that done. Do I have to... it's automated. I have to grab a bucket of it? That's so frustrating. Okay. I wanna do the achievements. Okay. All right. No. All right. You guys, don't you get on my case about this. Don't you get on my case about this. Okay. We're just gonna hold on because I don't want to wait because we could. Okay. We totally could. We could just sit there and try to pick it up and filter everything, but I don't want to. All right. So we're just gonna pick up the buckets. Does that not work? No. No, I don't. Can't even cheat. I can't even cheat when I want to. Alright. Alright. Easy fix. Kind of. More like supremely annoying fix, but whatever. It's not like I care. It's not like I'm that frustrated about it. I mean, I wouldn't get worked up about such a small thing. I'm a chill guy. That's what people say about me. Alright. We can filter it to only create the sky solution stuff. And that would be by doing this. So it won't create anything else, but once we get that 4th one in there, it will create sky, stone, solution stuff. Hey, it's already made 6 of these, though. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's a good... this is a great machine. It doesn't even have to be that much faster than it is. It's just annoying, because I want to get, like, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this, but I can't check any of them off. I bet I'm imagining the game kind of intends you to, like, produce these in separate basins and store them. But nope. Here at the Dejojotheawsome channel, we're getting better and better at create. And I love this machine. This is so compact. This is, like, one of, like, the roots of the entire chapter. And I did it in this many blocks. I don't know how many blocks it is. Gimme. Okay, for now, just going to remove that. Take the bucket of water. Put it on the floor. Gimme. Huh? How do I get that? Is that really... do I have to fill by spout? Is that the only way that this will figure itself out? Or cast it? I suppose the casting is easier. Alright. Create above and beyond. You are testing me at this moment. Alright, shouldn't be too bad. You put the casting thing here. There, give me the bucket. There we go. That looks pretty, at least. But I did it. I did exact. No. Is it gonna work if I... You know what? Sometimes in life, we make mistakes. And I do that more than just sometimes. Alright. Da-na-na-na. Yep, that's good. Yep, that's good. Charged Certus Crystal. There, I can pick it up. No! Eh. Just let me have it. Let me have it, please. That's fine, I'll get that when I can. Alright, but we have that. All I have to do is pick up a rose quartz. Okay, yeah. It was more effort to check off the list than it was to do the machine.